Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Okay, the first episode of the second run of Arch Oboler's plays. The first ran from March 39 to March of 1940 on NBC. This run ran on Mutual from April 5th, 1945 to October 11th of 1945. And this episode is an interesting one. This is entitled Strange Morning.
From Hollywood, California, the Mutual Broadcasting System, in cooperation with the United States Treasury and the Hollywood Victory Committee, brings you a special broadcast starring Miss Ingrid Bergman and written and directed by Arch Oboler. The special musical score is by Gordon Jenkins.
This program is dedicated to you who know that any future sacrifice you make for the rest of your life, be it every worldly possession you own, can never equal the price paid by the man who died to bring you victory in Europe, who will die to bring you victory in Japan.
This is a story of victory. It was born in the air battle of Britain. It grew through Stalingrad, Tunisia, Cassino, the beachheads of Normandy, up the Rhone Valley across France, through the Siegfried Line. This is a story of victory.
Stop worrying, it never was worthwhile. So pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, smile, smile.
Hey, what about Hitler, huh?
Hi, Joe. Tear down the war map. It's all over.
Put up the map of Japan. Here we go.
Boy, if I could get into a B-29, I wonder how soon my division will head for home.
I like a crack at the Jap.
What are you going to do? Put a 75 on your wheelchair?
Funny man, I'm going to be out of here in a week.
Hey, who told you? Hey, listen, you guys. They say that Stalin flew to Berlin.
Ah, it's Kettlebutt, Fred. It's Kettlebutt, as they say in the good old Navy. Hey, here comes Miss Stewart.
Hi. She's a jolly good fellow. She's a jolly good fellow. She's a jolly good fellow. Nobody can deny.
Men, not so noisy. The rest of the hospital. How about a V-Day date, Scotty?
Oh, the heck with the date. Let's get married.
all right. Hey, here comes the doctor.
For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow.
At ease, man.
Jolly good fellow.
At ease. After all, this is a hospital and all this excitement, you know. Well, Doc, how soon can I get out of here? My squadron will be moving to the Pacific.
How about me,
Oh,
Doc?
wait a minute, Doc. Man. Now, supposing you have one more song, and then all of you back to your own wards.
Oh, but Doc, Germany out of the war, and you expect us to...
He's the doctor. One more song, he says. How about Happy Days
Are here again.
Oh, it's very exciting, isn't it, Doctor?
Yes, Miss Stewart.
I'd hate to take their temperatures now. They waited a long time for this. Oh, Doctor, did I say something wrong?
No. I was just thinking that no one has told them.
Them?
I don't know how. To go into their rooms and announce that it's over. I don't know how.
Should I?
These men, they know that soon they'll be with their own outfits or going home. But those others.
Doctor, I said, may I tell them?
You?
Yes, please.
All right. All right. Thank you, Miss Stewart.
Who is it?
It's Miss Stewart, Freddie. How are you?
I'm all right.
May I sit and talk to you?
I'd like that.
Thank you. sleep well last night?
Yes. I was hoping you'd come in.
I'm sorry I couldn't come in sooner. There's been all sorts of excitement.
Excitement?
Mm-hmm. You see, Freddie, it's finally happened. Germany's out of the war. Freddie, did you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I thought you'd like to know.
Yes, thank you. Did it rain last night?
Yes. Yes, it did.
I thought I heard rain. I guess they're underwater.
What?
40 acres down by the creek. My father tried to drain that land ever since I was a pup. It's full of cattails and frogs. One bullfrog, he must have been a foot across. I called him Sitting Bull. We could hear him all the way up to the house. Mother said he was better than the church organ. You know something? We drained a swamp at Saipan. In 3 days, the forts were landing there. 3 days. And my dad's been trying for 20 years. So I was good on Saipan. You planted a seed, and overnight it was up. We had almost 5 acres. Even tomatoes and corn. I was in charge. It's so funny.
What, Freddie?
Lying here, all I think about are things like that. Green things and black dirt. That's very funny. Back home, I never paid much attention to it. I did my chores. That's all. But now I only seem to want to remember what was growing. I don't know why I think about it. I just do. Maybe it's because now that it's so dark all the time, I've got to think about things growing in the sun. Maybe it's because that was the most wonderful thing I ever saw. That the earth was good even on an island in the middle of the ocean. Did you say it was victory?
Yes.
If I get home, I can help my father. I can show him how to drain the land. I know how to do it now. 40 acres. There'll be so many more to feed now.
Sam?
Yes, ma'am.
I've something to tell you.
I know.
You do?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, but how?
Through the window, I could hear him singing. It can only mean one thing, or am I wrong again?
No, the word just came.
That's great.
Yes.
The doctor told me not to turn my head. Are you sitting down?
You want me to?
If you have time.
Of course.
Because it's today, will you tell me something?
Whatever you want to know.
How long will I be here?
I don't know.
Honestly?
Yes, Sam, honestly.
I didn't ask for the reason the others do. I asked because I want to know how much longer I can stay here.
Stay? Here?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you want to go home.
No, ma'am.
Oh, but why? By the time you're released, you'll be all right. New healthy tissue, heart, hardly a scar.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, Sam.
What good would that be?
Do me some good, perhaps. Of all the boys on this floor, I've known you the least. Is it your family?
No. I'd like to be with them.
Oh, Sam. Because it's today. Please tell me.
When I was born, I had all the world. Yeah. Little black baby owning the world. I lost it fast. Get out of the way, nigga. No black boys wanted. You know the story. Soon I wasn't even in the world. Then the army. Well, maybe a crazy hour I thought I was part of things again, but do I have to tell you? And then that Nazi floating around up there saw me in my oil truck riding the Red Ball Express. He went into a dive and got me in his sights and pressed the trigger and then there was nothing. But all at once there was. I was in a bed, others all around me. And nobody said, get out, black boy, one side nigger. Somebody said, nice going, fella. The guy next to me stuck a cigarette in my lips, and somebody else lit it. And I was back in the world again. I've been there ever since, on the hospital ship, and the train, and here. They talked to me. Sam, what's your opinion of this? Sam, how about that? Sam, talk to us. Sam, tell us. Me, Sam. So hooray for the day, but I want to stay here. I want to stay here.
Tom? Do you mind if I sit here and talk to you?
Huh? Who?
Miss Stewart.
Dorothy?
No, it's Miss Stewart, Tom.
Where have you been?
Tom, I have some wonderful news for you.
I'll tell you something. I was going to be angry with you. I'm not at all.
Angry?
Dorothy, don't ever keep me waiting again. Please.
Oh.
Did you get all the stuff?
Why, yes.
It's going to be a wonderful day. I've looked forward to.
Have you?
I'll stop worrying about Mary Ann. She'll be all right.
Yes, of course.
After all, my mother knows how to take care of babies. Look at me. Oh, let's look at the timetable. There it is. 11:10, about 3 or 4 minutes, and we're off. Dot. Why don't you say something?
I'm glad we're going.
No. You didn't say that. You didn't say that. You said something else. Dot, say what you said then. Say it.
I don't remember.
I see you. I know you're here. Your voice is so far away.
I'm here.
Is the train coming?
Not yet.
Oh, Dot, I love you so much. All right, let him put a bronze tablet here on this spot on June 6, 1940. A man made love to his wife, end quote. Why do I have to make a joke about it? Is there something wrong with my loving you more than 2 years ago? Stand close to me, Dot. No, there's no one around. Oh, darling, every day is better for us, isn't it? Isn't it?
Yes, Tom.
Lift your face.
Yes.
If you weren't here, I couldn't stand it. It's been terrible, Dot. My face, I keep thinking... Aren't we a handsome couple? Aren't we a handsome couple? Why do I keep thinking that? What's wrong with my face?
Now, try to sleep, Tom.
I can hardly hear you, but you're here. Your face so close, I can feel you warm.
Sleep, Tom.
Such a handsome couple, such a handsome couple, such a... Dot, don't come too close to my face. Not too close, Dot.
It's all right.
Is it? Is it?
Yes.
The handsomest couple?
Yes.
Your lips. Kiss?
Yes, Tom.
Strange Morning, an episode of Arch Oboler's Plays, April 5th, 1945 on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secrets to lose 3 to 5 pounds a week easily without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt by Med Diet. For the last 2 decades, we've been helping people just like you that have pounds they want to shed. We've helped millions of people lose thousands and thousands of pounds over the years. And now it's your turn. Learn the secrets of how to lose weight with one simple phone call. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? we'll offer you a money-back guarantee. If you're ready to start losing weight right now, call right now to learn more about your risk-free order to Body Sculpt.
Call for your risk-free offer. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. That's 800-738-5332.
Now more of Arch Oboler's plays, Strange Morning, from April 5th, 1945 on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Hiya, Scotty. Come on in.
Good morning, Larry.
Larry Darlin, Scotty. Always Larry Darlin.
Oh, you need an ice pack.
No, I need to talk to you. Please, will you?
That's why I came here.
I knew it was my lucky day the minute I opened my eyes. Why, I bet even the custard will taste good today.
Yes, Larry, yes. Something has happened today.
Happened? What?
Germany's out of the war.
Absolutely?
Absolutely.
Well, what do you know?
It's wonderful, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Hey, are the fellas tearing up the place?
Yes, just about.
Oh, boy. I can just see them back home. What a time they must be having. Running around. Tonight they'll be dancing.
Larry, don't.
Oh, no, you don't understand. I'm okay. Fact of the matter is, I'm better than that. I got it all laid out like a blueprint. A right arm. That's all I got, and that's all I'll need. Sure. A right arm to hold a girl, to write a check. Oh, no, Scotty. No, don't look like that. I tell you, I'm fine. With the money that's coming to me when I get out of here, all those GI checks I never got a chance to spend, I'm going in business. For myself.
Oh, no, you didn't tell me. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I'm wonderful. Have a card. Larry Edmonds. General Sherman's and Jeeps repaired while you wait. Amphibious tanks especially.
Oh, auto repairs?
And filling stations.
Oh.
Notice I said stations.
Mm-hmm.
Look, the way I got it doped out, the minute they take gasoline off ration, and the whole United States is going to get into the automobile and start going. And they're going to keep going until they wear out all the ants in their pants. I mean...
Well, I understand.
well, what I mean is, everybody's built up a want to go places. Well, like me, every day lying here. I've been walking every street I ever walked and visiting every place I've ever gone to. You know.
Yes, I know.
So I've located just the corner where I'm going to put that first super service station. And I know just the guys that used to be in my outfit to turn the pumps and pull the wrenches. One station, and if it goes okay, as it will, I'll start another one. Then another one. Then, well, gosh, the fact of the matter is, I'm going to be one of them tycoons.
Well, of course you will. And I'd like to get in on the ground floor.
No kidding.
No kidding.
I have got a chance, haven't I? To get places? Oh, sure I have. I'll sit behind a desk and use the brains I got instead of worrying about the legs I haven't got. And I'll figure out new ways and shortcuts to keep automobiles going the way I used to do with the tanks. And I'll build up a big business and keep spreading out. And I can't, miss. I can't. Can I, Miss Stewart?
Hello, Captain?
Go away.
Oh, but I want...
I told them no one was to come in here but the doctor.
Yes,
I told them.
Please, Captain.
For God's sake, can't I be left alone? Haven't I earned that at least? Haven't I?
Oh, well, I...
Haven't I? Why don't you leave me alone?
No, please.
What's the matter?
I'm sorry.
Tell me. I want to know.
It's been a strange morning.
Why?
The reason I came here. I have news for you.
News?
From Germany. It's over.
When?
We got word just a little while ago.
You've been going around on this floor? Telling us?
Yes.
I'm sorry for what I...
Oh, it's all right.
Are they tearing up telephone books and parading up and down the streets?
I haven't been out.
So it's really here.
Yes.
Doug. This would have been a day for Doug. He'd have buzzed onto Den Linden itself. Doug's day. Not mine.
Oh, of course it
No,
is.
to Doug it was a game that ended at the goalposts of Berlin. Maybe if I got my throat cut outside Aachen the way he did, it would have been my day, too.
Oh.
But I lasted a little longer than that. Long enough to see a mountain of shoes, hundreds of thousands. Every pair meant a human being that had been shoved into an incinerator for the crime of daring to live. I lived long enough to see row and row of quiet children where the flamethrowers had left them. I lived long enough to see Doug with his hands tied behind his back and his throat cut. I hate this day.
The conclusion of Arch Oboler's plays, April 5th, 1945, when Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox continues.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
It's a big, bold story set in the heartland of America, along the edge of Lonely Mountain. I am open for business. And so Big William Gorgon, played by handsome Michael James, fiercely set down his Midwest roots.
Oh, darling, we're going to sell bathrobes and raise chickens.
Set his adoring wife, Wilhelmina, portrayed by beautiful Glenda Olsen.
Oh, I love our store, Will.
But they hadn't counted on Big Ralph's bathrobes and cattle store coming to town.
Oh, Will, what will we do, Will?
Will had a plan, a way of facing off against tough Big Ralph. We're going to change the face of America. We're going to advertise.
For what?
The print, broadcasting, and bus benches. We're going to tell people who we are and where we are.
What's a bus?
And so the story of how one man brought advertising to the heartland.
Oh, will it work?
It will. Well, my name ain't Will, Wilhelmina. We got to advertise or we'll die. And so the greatest marketing story of all time is here. Advertise or Die, Dopey. Brought to you by Adweek Magazine, the Radio Advertising Bureau, this radio station on the famous Radio Ranch.
Put your message on this national advertising platform. Email classicradiotheater@gmail.com. classicradiotheater@gmail.com. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of Arch Oboler's plays, Strange Morning, as it was broadcast April 5th, 1945.
Because now we'll stop killing them. The sentimentalists will begin. They'll stand on righteousness and wave the words of charity, pity, and compassion. And the grass will grow over the murdered, and the cities will be rebuilt. And the torn throats, and the whipped backs, and the screams, and the bloody marks on the walls will be forgotten. Yes, forgotten, because only a few of us saw those things with our own eyes. Forgotten because our people never had hatred poured into their veins with the death of their wives and their children. I hate this day. For now the forgetting begins.
Stewart. I've been looking for you. I wanted to...
Yes.
You've seen them.
Yes.
I should have gone myself.
Oh, I wanted to go. I wanted to go. When the news came, it was hard to believe what we had waited for. But it was true. And suddenly everything became wonderful in a way it hadn't been for a very long time. We'd beaten the Huns. We'd finally beaten the Huns. The rest was up to the peace commissions and the governmental experts and the statesmen. Freddie, Sam Jones, Tom, Larry Edmonds, the captain. I wanted to bring them the news because they'd paid with their bodies for this day in terrible ways. And so, the happiness belonged to them. I thought that. But, Doctor, they don't need today. We need it. This day's for us. Those of us in America who lived through a war and knew no pain. I was crying before, yes. Yes. For that soldier lying up there in the dark and telling me that he hated today. Hated it. Because now we would listen again to the self-seekers and the sentimentalists and begin to forget. Doctor, that can't be true. We've got to start remembering. First, the enemy to the east. The enemy that dreams that in this day of happiness we here will forget them and their tortures and murders. Yes, we've got to remember them. The enemy in the east yet to be beaten. The one in the west that twice in our lifetime tried to destroy our civilization. We've got to remember them, every face, every name, so that there'll be no place on earth left for them to hide, to cry out for a mercy that would make the dead rise up in protest. And we've got to remember our responsibilities in a world that has grown as small as the house we live in. And the people in that house. We've got to remember we can only live together with them in fairness and mutual decency. I think we've got enough remembering to do for the rest of our lives and the lives of our children. Yes, this day is for us.
April 5th, 1945, Arch Oboler's Plays on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just two of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the fourth part of the five-part Yours Truly Johnny Dollar story, The Salt City Matter. This originally broadcast April 5th, 1956.
From Hollywood, it's time now for Johnny Dollar.
Ready with your call to San Francisco. Go ahead, please.
Hello.
That you, Johnny?
Yeah, I'm in Salt City.
I'm surprised they have phones there. How does it look? Located Ed Julian yet?
I just got here. It looks terrible, and I haven't even located a hotel room. Mr. Gumby, if I have any luck at all, I'll be back in San Francisco by tonight.
With Ed Julian?
I'll serve the subpoena on him if he's around. From what I've been able to pick up, there isn't much of a law enforcement agency here.
You get that subpoena in his hands, and he'll have to answer to it. He's still in this county, even if they have to use state police to grab him.
Okay.
Anything I can do for you here?
Yeah. Find out how a town like this ever got built.
Tonight and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Samuel Rubin and Associates, Insurance Brokers, Majestic Building, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Salt City matter. It all started when Sam Rubin asked me to bodyguard Ed Julian. Julian was supposed to be in San Francisco, but I never saw him there. I saw his wife and his lawyer and the insurance agent who had sold him the policy, but no Ed Julian. And then a clerk at his apartment told me about Salt City. He didn't tell me much else. I found the rest out for myself. I checked my bag in the station locker and walked over to the Salt City Bar and Grill. Expense account item 12, 10 cents, coffee.
Just getting on the train?
Yeah, a few minutes ago.
Everybody calls me Connie.
Everybody calls me Johnny.
That's nice. Never seen you around here before.
Well, I've never been around here before.
Gonna stay long?
I hope not. No fault of yours.
I can't blame you. As soon as I get a steak for myself, I'm pulling out too. All kinds of funny things going on around here. Now, for instance, last week hello, Mr. Reno.
I recognized him from the Landry killing that he'd stood trial for in Baltimore in 1950. He still looked like his pictures, tall, thin, quiet. I'd always wondered where he disappeared to after his lawyer got him off with a bought jury.
My name is Jim Reno. I run this restaurant. Everything all right?
Everything's fine.
Oh, that's good. Good. You ought to have some of us, too.
This time of morning?
Sure, just the thing. Connie, why don't you go back in the kitchen and put some stew on the fire, huh?
Well, Mr. Reno, I don't cook. You know that.
Learn.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You wouldn't be connected with the Salt City Smelter Works, would you, Mr. Reno?
I own them. With some other friend.
Then you might know Ed Julian. I understand he owns...
Yes, I know Ed. He's out there at the Smelter Works, staying in a cottage right by the office. I'll call your taxi if you like.
Well, the last taxi driver I asked to drive me out there threatened to call a cop.
Well, this town, it's better if I call. You know, small town.
Sure.
Finish your coffee, Mr. Dollar.
What?
I'll call a cab for you. I own the taxi company, too.
Expense account item 12, 10 more cents, more coffee. While I waited for the cab to appear. Somehow I wasn't surprised that Jim Reno had been able to read my name in the coffee grounds. But by that time, I'd learned not to be surprised by anything in Salt City. Item 13, 50 cents tip. The cab ride out to the Smelter Works was on Mr. Reno. The chimneys and stacks were dark and sullen against a gray storm-gathering sky. The only sound was a gasoline generator somewhere. Lights were on at intervals across the smoky area. One dim light burning in a little yellow cottage just inside the main gate caught my eye. No one seemed around to ask questions of me, so I walked in. Ed Julian and another man I didn't recognize were sitting in chairs opposite each other. Neither of them moved or flicked an eyelash. They just sat there, propped up, staring at each other. I got closer and decided one could get surprised in Salt City. They weren't dead. Dead men don't perspire. Dead men don't have pulses. Dead men don't breathe. They were just kind of in between. If you ever walk into a house in Salt City and find two men just sitting in a room, quietly staring at each other, and they aren't dead, turn around and walk out. Johnny Dollar. Don't fall down on your hands and knees and crawl around the floor like I did. Don't start to laugh to yourself about nothing at all. Don't get weepy and perspire. And don't prop yourself up against the wall and wait for something to happen. And then I could see somebody standing beside me looking down. I couldn't move my arms or my legs, and that seemed pretty funny. Somebody laughed about it. Then it came to me I was doing the laughing. The noise was coming out of me. Somebody leaned down and took my gun out of my shoulder holster. He was wearing gloves and dark glasses. And then all at once he had a face.
Easy, Dollar, easy. I'll just take this. Sure. I know all about it. All about it.
What is this?
You came to town looking for Ed Julian so you could protect him. Maybe serve a subpoena. Get him in jail. Well, Ed don't need no protecting. You can see that. He don't need no subpoena. He don't need anything, Dollar. Not now. You hear me?
I hear. You slipped me something at the cafe.
Nah, don't you worry about that. You see, Dollar, you were just out on a regular job for Sam Rubin. But you got in a fight in Ed's place in San Francisco, bashed up a couple of his boys. He came over to Salt City looking for him. You walked in this place, and Ed was sitting here talking to Chili Winters.
That other fella's Chili Winters?
Nah, you're getting it. Chili Winters, a big powder from the East. Bad boy. Ed didn't want you to protect him, did he, Dollar? No, he didn't. He didn't want to take the subpoena. No, he didn't. So you argued with him, didn't you?
No.
You argued with him like you did with a pair of his boys in San Francisco. You beat them up. Well, Chili got into the argument here now, didn't he? Chili might have pulled a gun on you. He was famous for that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And you had to protect yourself. You just pulled out your gun and you shot them both. Like this.
Oh, no, you...
Well, Dollar, you just shot and killed Ed Julian and Chili Winters. As good a job as anyone in this town ever saw. And I saw it. Guess I'll have to call the police.
An autopsy report will show they were drugged before they were killed. And how are you going to explain that?
We don't believe in autopsy reports in Salt City. All our police need is your gun.
It won't work, Reno.
Now, Dollar, you know it will. You'll be arraigned, indicted, and tried right here in Salt City. It'll be second degree or self-defense, maybe. Now, if I'd have done it, or some of the boys had done it, there'd have been all kinds of trouble from San Francisco to New York.
This is the way it was figured.
This is the way. You walk right into it. Right smack into it. You crazy fool, you can't do anything!
He got to his feet and tried to drag me up with him, and then both of us toppled over into a lamp. And then I had the lamp base in my hand. In any other place, the next move would have been to run to the nearest police station. But from what I'd heard of the brand of law and order practiced in Salt City, that wouldn't have been much help to me. Instead, I walked the 3 miles back to town, making my way over the crusted arroyos and cactus lands that seemed to surround it. My first stop, the Reno Bar and Grill.
Oh, my, what happened to you?
That's about the longest story in history. Anybody around?
Just you and me, Johnny.
My full name's Johnny Dollar. I'm an insurance investigator. I came here to see Ed Julian. I saw him shot to death.
What?
Now, listen to me. I saw him shot to death, along with a man named Chili Winters about half an hour ago. Jim Reno did the shooting with my gun.
I better call a police...
Wait, now listen to me. Remember, I came in here from the station. I made a phone call from that booth outside there.
Yeah.
I sat down, had some coffee, 2 cups.
We talked, I remember.
Do you remember putting anything in my coffee?
Me? What are you talking about?
Somebody did. Probably Reno when he came up. Now, look, you said something about wanting to get out of Salt City.
Well, sure, but...
Now's your chance. I'll get you out of here.
How?
You got a car?
No.
All right. Can you buy one for this?
$3.50? I think so.
Go do it. I'll wait here for you.
Well, you better not wait here. My room's across the street, 2nd floor. Use the back stairway. I'll be there in a half hour.
Expense account item 14, $350. One automobile, 1948 vintage. The waitress returned with it in exactly 1/2 hour. In another 10 minutes, the time it took her to pack 2 suitcases, we were on the road to San Francisco. Item 15, $18.30, gas and oil. It took us 7 hours and 20 minutes to make it. Item 17, $50. I gave the waitress the car and the money, then went back to my hotel, showered, shaved, and changed clothes and made a phone call.
Who?
Johnny Dollar, Inspector.
You're wanted for murder in Salt City. Police all over the state are looking for you.
Yeah, I thought they might be. Inspector, I'll be glad to explain all of it, but I need some time.
Come on down and explain it, and then we'll see if you can have any time.
Now listen to me. I was sent to Salt City to be a patsy. Reno wanted to get rid of Ed Julian and Chili Winters.
Where are you?
Never mind.
Well, you've got 5 minutes to get down here and turn yourself in. Otherwise, you'll go out on an APB.
I got out of the hotel in about 20 seconds. A cab picked me up, and I spent item 15, $3, transportation Getty to Ray Gumby's office at 8 Julian's Enterprises. No Ray Gumby. Item 16, $8, more cab fare. This time locating Ray Gumby's home address, an apartment over in Berkeley. He took a long time to answer.
$1.
I don't know how he ever made it with the 2 holes in his neck. He lurched forward and I caught him. Who did it, Mr. Gumby?
Swifty and Luke. You met him at Ed's apartment house. Came by about an hour ago. What's it all about? Why, Johnny? Why?
Why? It was a good question. Little Ray Gumby was a dead attorney. And Ed Julian and Chili Winters were dead gunsels. Why? Everywhere I seemed to go, people were dying hard, violently, without apparent reason. Why? I had one idea. Same old thing. The feeling, the old feeling. It didn't explain anything. It was just there.
Now here's our star to tell you about tomorrow's intriguing episode of this week's story.
It winds up tomorrow, the whys and the wherefores. Love and hate, the usual ingredients for big explosions. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by John Dawson, it is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Be sure to join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rowan speaking.
This is a rough one. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, April 5th, 1956. Thank you for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Please thank this radio station and support their advertisers. It's their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite station. Also, if you miss a day on this station, you don't have to miss a single show. Just go on to iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, TuneIn, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Amazon. Search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And, of course, at my webpage, you can also hear our shows on demand. You can learn more about building a classic radio collection of your own own. You can also contact me and find our social media links. That's at classicradio.stream. Classicradio.stream. I'm Wyatt Cox. Thanks for listening. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.